folks, my perspective here, and in this short video I'll be looking at perspective and angles in perspective and how this teaches us that the earth is actually flat. So even if the horizon was slightly curved, you would see objects on the horizon, whether it's a crane, a mountain, a tree. These would all be at different angles to you. So something closer would be at a different angle to an object that is further away. But this is not the case. We only ever see objects close and far as 100% vertical. This shows that the earth is flat. So it doesn't matter whether you look to your left or to your right or behind you. We only ever see objects, no matter how big or small they are, as completely vertical. And we take this fact for granted in our paintings and in photographs. We only accept something on the horizon that is vertical, because this is the reality that we live in. So let's have a look at angles in perspective. We know that horizontal lines are always horizontal, no matter how near something is or how far away it is. The same applies to the angle lines. Stay the same angle. If I move this fence over, in true linear perspective, those angle lines would stay the same angle. And if I had to put a crane on the horizon, the angles would be the same. So it's not about size, it's about angles. And that's why it's so easy to trick the human eye. We assume if something's bigger, it's closer. But we know, for example, this crane is further away from our perspective. And the angle stays the same. So perspective is not about size, it's about angles. And our brain and our eye, the human brain and our eye and our reality is built on what we see. We see with our eyes, and our whole understanding and the world we live in is flat. As we look out all around us, we have a limited line of sight. We see almost as if in a ring around us, and above us, below us. But the angles stay the same from our perspective. And this can only work if the plane, the floor we are on, is flat. This is reality. We're living in a flat earth. That's how our brain and our eyes are wired. So as you look around you, ships, buildings, from your perspective, everything is always completely vertical. Nothing falls over, no matter how far away it is from you. Your limited line of sight in a circle around you, in that line of sight, everything is completely vertical. Now let's look at the angle of light. If you're on a spinning ball, the sun would be in front of you. Then as you turn, your angle would be across the face of the sun. So what does that mean? Well, you're on a spinning ball fixed, look at the arrowhead. Watch carefully. See, the sun would actually rise slowly, speed up in the day, and set slowly. Watch that again. But this is not the case. No matter where you are, the sun travels at the same speed. So you are not spinning on a ball, the sun is moving, and you are fixed. You are standing still. Let's look at that even deeper. Two people one at the equator, one at the North Pole, taking a time-lapse image of the sun. For them, the sun would be traveling at different speeds. But this is not the case. No matter where you are, the sun travels at the same speed. It shows that we're not on a spinning ball. Now let's look at the shadow and the angles of your shadow. If you're on a spinning ball and you're in the north, your shadows will only ever face north. And if you're in the south, your shadows will only ever face south. And every 6 months, because you're at the same 23.4 degree angle, the sun will be on the opposite side. So night, morning and sunset should swap over every 6 months, and they don't, because we're not on a spinning ball. Now look at this image. Look at the angle of the sun's rays. Look carefully. Now if we take this image and we spread it out into 3D space, look at the angles. We spread it out. This tells us that the sun is not 150 million kilometers away, because how can it light up? Look at the angles at the back. Look at the angles of the light on the mountains. The sun is above the mountains. How can the angle of the sun light up the same valley, and the light is at two different angles in the same valley? Really? So this is what we see in real life. You're standing still, the sun is moving overhead, it's giving us those extreme angles, and as it moves overhead and it moves away from you, remember it's on the horizon now. That's how you can get those angles of sunlight on the horizon, because it's not 150 million kilometers away, it's above the clouds. So what they teach us is that you and the clouds are actually spinning together, and the sun's rays are standing still, because you are moving through those rays. You can see this is ridiculous. This is mindless garbage. This is not what we see. So let's look at this image. At the top we have the human eye. You see everything at eye level, but you have a limited range into the horizon. You see the horizon at eye level. So if I take my video camera or my stills camera and I put on a zoom lens, I can extend my vision into the horizon, further in, but the horizon is still at eye level. And if I put on a huge telescopic lens, I can see even further, but the horizon stays at eye level. So what's the point of having zoom lenses if the horizon is curved? Because you wouldn't be able to see around the curve. So the issue is, humans have a problem judging distance with perspective. We find it difficult. So look at the top image. You see a ship, you know that the ship's not far away. And you see the moon, and you think, well, that moon is 400,000 kilometers behind the ship. But yet it's in focus to your human eye. How is it possible? So now you take your camera out, you put on a big zoom lens, and you pull the focus. So you focus in the tree, and you do a couple of turns, and now you focus on the clouds behind the tree. And the ship's in focus, and the clouds are in focus. And now you only give a slight turn, and the moon's in focus. How is this possible? Because the moon should be 400,000 kilometers behind the clouds. Well, the fact that you only have to focus a smidgen on your focus ring, and the clouds, and you can pull the focus from the clouds to the moon, tells you that the distance between the moon and the clouds is very short. This is a simple fact. The reality is that we are living in an illusion, maintained by NASA, maintained by the media. The more we drink the illusion, the more dizzy we get, the more power they have over us.